Hey guys, welcome to a special edition of Morakniv Monday. This is a special Memorial Day edition, and for the occasion I broke out my very first bushcraft knife, which is the Mora Companion MG. Not to be confused with the Mora Companion HD. This is the Mora Companion MG, which is a little bit thinner and smaller of a profile. The Mora Companion MG has a blade length of 4.1 inches, has a total length of 8.9 inches. The spine is 3.2 millimeters thick. It is 1095 high carbon steel, Scandi grind, made in Sweden, with a nice rubberized handle, rubberized grip on the handle. This is the knife that made me fall in love with Morakniv, guys. This right here made me a believer. I had read and heard so much about it because we don't really have them in the stores here locally. So when I started to watch YouTube and started to read books and started to read articles, I learned about Moras and picked this one up, and I've loved them very much ever since. It comes with this plastic sheath here. As I mentioned previously, I like Mora sheaths. I like the factory sheaths that they come with very much. They're hard plastic, they're open to modifications, and they're just a nice design. I mean, they're inexpensive knives, so you're not going to get a top quality sheath, but I'd say this is pretty good for the money. Now, some guys say the retention will go over time in these sheaths. Well, thanks to Dennis, Spartan Johns, there's a solution to that. You can take a piece of paracord, tie a slip knot in it, and that's going to help your retention greatly. That's going to tremendously help your retention. Not only that, they lend themselves well to a neck knife, so if you throw a piece of paracord under the belt hook here and use it as a neck knife, you can always leave a piece to hook in the knife. So retention, I don't think, has ever been a problem. Now, fortunately, I have a friend named Joey who has a business called Wildernesskydex who makes sheaths for Mora knives. So this is my Mora Companion sheath. This is from Joey, Wildernesskydex. If you ever get a chance, please visit the link below and check them out. This is a great sheath, and I've never looked back since I got it. I wear it as an upside down neck hang, as I do most of my Moras. And this is the sheath that I use. One more thing, guys, Mora knives, as I mentioned before, they come with rounded off spines. Other than the bushcraft black that I know of, their spines are not squared off. So they will not scrape fine shavings of wood, and they will not strike a ferro rod. They will not remove that ferro rod material until you grind that down with a mill file. This was the first knife I ever did that with, and I learned so much using this knife, guys. But as you can see, it still smiles to this day. I did a lot of what I would call inappropriate tasks with it. I've forced many patinas on it. I've done prying, I've done batoning, I've done everything with this knife, and it's still top notch to this day. So enough of me talking here. Let's get to some bushcraft things with this knife. Let's see what it's got. What if I have to baton something bigger and something thicker, and all I have is a Mora? What do I do? All right. As long as you guys know, and I've made that disclaimer that you're taking a risk, let's talk about that. Piece of wood right here that I would suggest using, if you can find it, is this is pine. Find something a little bit small. A little bit easier to work with. This pine is a softer wood, so it's going to be easier for you to work with. Second, this one's a little bit aged, so there's some cracks in there that's going to allow us to work with it. What I'm going to do is find some thin slices of wood here. Being that these are thin sliced, I can go ahead and baton these with no problem. The Companion really can handle that. Let's go one more. Another one, thin sliced piece of wood. This one's actually a good one. Then we're going to take it. This one might be a bit too flimsy, but we're working with what we got here, guys. And this one was kind of thinned off at the end, so this one should work nice. See how that Companion just bites away at that wood? That Scandi grind? Let's see what those can do. Alright, so we're going to find a place. I already got a little bit of cracking right here. So we're going to take advantage of that cracking. I'm just going to baton lightly across that line. So I'm not whacking it, I'm not trying to split it with this initial batoning here. I'm just creating a groove that we're going to be able to work with. The angle of this piece of wood is definitely going to be interesting. Alright, so then I'm going to take one of our wedges that we just made. Might just take one, guys. That's how we're splitting wood. That's how we're gonna baton a huge piece of wood with a Mora knife. Wedges, guys. If you're anything like me, guys, you're wondering if our Mora Companion can strike a spark off the spine and light some char cloth. Well, as we discussed in the beginning, Moras are 1095 high carbon steel. They're gonna light them just fine. the sharp edge here. Here we go again. $10.95 high carbon steel is a beautiful thing, guys.